Good morning. Welcome to Destiny's Corner Life, where every Monday morning is not a Monday morning of blues, but a Monday morning of highs. And truly, we have had our highs this morning.
Yes, we have.
My name is Gloria Murray, and I'm your transformational life coach. And I'm excited about this wonderful Monday morning. And we're excited to introduce to you Tressa's Treasured Cheesecakes this morning, which is centered around multitasking, a thing that we all are involved in, this wonderful world we call life. Multitasking during times of life issues.
Yes.
And what cheesecake are you bringing to us today?
I am bringing you a 3-berry cheesecake. Yum.
Wow.
It has raspberry, pomegranate, and cranberries. Good for you.
Wow.
Sort of. Kind of.
Sort of. Wow. And we're also, as you can see, we're wearing our pink.
Yes, we are.
This week, in awareness of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And we all know that many are on that journey, have come through that journey.
Yes.
And many perhaps will enter that journey.
Right.
So we're here to acknowledge and to link arms to all those who are fighting against this disease.
Absolutely.
So here we are. I was just thinking about you and how you were describing the cheesecake of the week.
Yes.
And how it's 3 berries. I think I heard you say one is cranberry.
Yes.
One is raspberry. And one is pomegranate. And you know what that reminds me of? How we have to multitask between one thing or another at any given time.
Right.
And whether or not that's really healthy for us.
No.
No, right?
No, it is not.
Right. And sometimes, not even if we eat too much cheesecake.
Way too much cheesecake.
It may not be healthy for us.
Right.
So multitasking, we want to kind of hone in on that subject of interest today so we can talk about how effective is multitasking. What are we gaining? What are we losing?
Right.
And what can we change about the experience or having had the experience of multitasking? So and what is multitasking? So, I decided, hey, I will give you the dictionary definition and then I will tell you my definition. Okay, so the dictionary definition describes multitasking is, let me just pull that up right now real quickly. Okay, multitasking is an apparent human ability. Ooh, that's scary by itself. Human ability. Human ability to perform more than one task or activity at a time, at the same time. Okay? Now think about that. It says a human ability to perform more than one activity at the same time. So when you think about that, how much of ourselves can we give to 3 things or 4 things or 5 things at one time? Let's pause a minute on that. I want you to process that and think about it. First of all, the dictionary definition said multitasking is an apparent human ability.
Right.
Why is it that we think that this is humanly possible?
Right.
You see? Like, for instance, we have this cell phone ringing in the background right now, and we are videotaping this video.
So sorry. That's human life.
That's human life, and that's a reality. It's a reality. So, and you think about how effective am I being to that one thing or to those 5 things that we're trying to do at the same time? Is it humanly possible that we can give the same level of energy to those various events or activities in our lives at the same time?
No.
Is it really humanly possible?
We do it, but something's going to get, I don't want to say shorted, but it is. And it's most likely going to be you because you're running around, you're going from one thing to another all at the same time. And How crazy is that?
How crazy is that?
That's
How
just...
crazy is that? So let's break down, and we're gonna take our time with this, because the time needs to be invested in talking about multitasking.
Yes.
Our goals and hopes are today is that we hope that you'll be able to pick that one thing that you can focus on and give it all of your attention, so that you can get the return back that's possible getting back if the right amount of attention is given to it in the time that it needs it. So what are some of the things that we multitask? Okay, we multitask. Some of us have jobs.
Right.
We have families. We have community.
Right, exactly.
We have educational goals that we're pursuing. We have all these different activities that are in our lives.
Right.
So we say to ourselves, let's just break them down one by one. Okay. So we want to look at let's look at ourselves. Okay. I chose that as the number one thing because if we're not true to ourselves, last week we talked about anxiety. We talked about anxiety. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We were experiencing a little bit of shaking.
Shake, rattle, and a roll over here.
Right, exactly. While we're trying to do this, other things are trying to occur. Not while we're trying to do this, we are doing this. Okay, so
that's life.
It is life. Right. It is life. It's a reality, and that's why Destiny's life, Destiny's Corner life. We are in front of you living our own lives.
Yes.
We're having our own struggles, and we're giving you permission to do likewise. Because the only way we're going to tackle these issues is to be true and present truth to you. Not a sense of falseness, not a sense of having it all together, not a sense that everything has to be together before you go forth and take on something that you know you're called to do or something's pulling you to do here in this life.
Speaking of that.
Yeah.
My epic fail.
Exactly.
Of my cheesecake.
Yeah.
Tastes good. It just looks a little funky right now.
Yeah, in her eyes.
In my eyes.
In her eyes.
And that was part of life.
It is.
Making that, I got a phone call from my daughter, FaceTime my grandson, talking on the phone, and making a cheesecake.
So I hear you saying that you were multitasking while you were preparing this cheesecake.
Yes, I was.
Okay. And so, great, oh my gosh, great example.
Right.
Great example. So what happens? Tressa is, transparent about her wonderful cheesecakes, which are absolutely amazing. I've never really, had a cheesecake that had multiple berries in it. So I'm excited about tasting that just a little bit. Okay?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little bit. But I really like your transparency about that.
Yes.
I like the fact that you were like, hey, you know what? But guess what? We're here in front of you today. Right. Cheesecake may not look like she so desired it to look, but it doesn't look bad. You see those beautiful berries in there? It looks pretty good. So, but when you're multitasking, we think that we're actually getting the best out of everything that we're multitasking with. But that's humanly impossible. It's humanly impossible. So we have to say to ourselves, okay, we need to prioritize.
Right.
I think the effectiveness of making sure that things get done well, it's not so much about how many things we're able to get done. It's prioritizing what's important, what do I need to give my most attention to.
Right.
Okay. So let's just rewind a little bit. I said, okay, we're going to talk about those individual things.
Yes.
And so the one thing that we're talking about this morning is we're talking about, okay, what is the first thing that you need to address before you address anything else? And I would say, for me, and you can talk about for you as well. Right. For me, I would say, I want to give my spiritual condition. I want to be able to hone in on being healthy in that area because I'm driven by that. I'm driven by, being here this morning to bring life to others. So I need to hone in on and make sure that I'm getting that quiet time in,
right,
where we're able
and
to
clearing
reflect.
your mind.
Yes.
Clearing your mind, knowing what we want to talk about, what we're coming to you with, or coming, what we're going to say, what we're going to discuss. And yes, honing in on us first. Taking those deep breaths as we had to before we went live.
Yes.
And focus on us and our spirit first.
Absolutely. Seeking out
Yes.
that higher being in
Yes.
your life. That spirit for me is God.
Yes. Me also.
Okay. You also.
Yes.
So I have to get into God's presence and sit there sometimes and don't say a thing. I've got to hear.
Right.
I've got to clear. And I've got to release all fears.
Yes.
That may try to come in and influence the things that we've been given to do in a day.
Right.
In a day. So I can't have my cell phone there with me.
Right.
Okay?
No.
I cannot have, my agenda of the day in front of me, because I need to sit there and just hear.
Right.
What am I to do in this day, and how is it to go about it? If you give yourself that little bit of time in the morning, where there's nothing moving. Now, I'm not saying it has to be in the morning, because some people are working in the mornings. Right. I'm saying you choose your time, the time that's best for you. And you give your spirit an opportunity to clear, and to hear, and to release all fears.
Yes.
So that when you step out, and I guarantee you, when you step out, there are going to be oppositions that will come your way. They're going to try to present, fearful conditions, try to prevent, threats of your day, threats of the things that you're trying to give yourself attention to. Right. But because you have cleared, and you have heard, and you have released all fears, you can take on this day. And I'm not saying you'll be perfect in the day. Right. But what's within you has already been perfected. Right. So whatever you experience externally, the internal being is ready to receive and ready to handle business. Yes. So the first thing we need to talk about, or to take care of, and to give focus to, rather than multitasking. Right. So we give attention to our spirits. Yourself. Then we give attention to our bodies, which means we got to make sure you get up if you need to do some deep breathing exercises, if you need to do some exercising, if you whatever that might be, you got to make sure that you're good to the body. Yes. Because you know what? You don't get but one body. That's right. And you don't get but one mind, and you don't get but one spirit. That's true. So you got to treat it good. This is when we talk about multitasking. Let's look at it in a different way. Okay. Let's think about, what about we're just not multitasking, but we're prioritizing our tasks. We're prioritizing our tasks. We're not trying to handle them all at the same time. Right. What is the most important first? Exactly. Or second? You are first. You need to be first. Otherwise, well, let's just say that God is first. Right. Exactly. Then it's who? You. Yes. It's us. Right? Right. Us. Right. So it's God first for us. Now, I don't know. For us. Now. Your spiritual higher being may be however you present that for you. Right. But we're talking about where we stand right now and giving permission for you to stand where you stand. Right. The understanding of this conversation is that multitasking may not be the healthiest thing and the healthiest way to go and be. Right. So, so we know we talked about taking care of, making sure our spirits are together, our body, our soul, and so on and so forth. Then after that, you say, okay, now what do I give myself attention to? Some may have to go out the door or be coming in the door. But in either case, if you have families, okay, so you may have a spouse. Okay, were you able to maybe fix him or her their lunch for the day, or whatever that may be? Whatever your thing is, the key is make sure, because sometimes the things that we love the most, we can give the least amount of attention to. Yes. Because we're doing what?
Multitasking.
Thinking that, oh, guess what? All right, if I just do a little bit of this for you today,
Right.
or I just do a little bit of writing for school today, and I just,
Mm-hmm.
give my kids a little bit of attention today in this area, okay, I've covered all grounds. Whew. You may have covered all grounds, but
a little time to each thing, and not your full attention.
Right. And covering all grounds does not mean that every need has been met.
True.
Covering all grounds doesn't mean, it just means you hit it and you touched it. Right. But did you influence it? And did you give it time? And were you able to give it enough time where you'll be able to hear what that particular thing or person, whatever, needed, back from you? Or did you just hit it?
Exactly.
Did you just hit it? So we have to think, okay, now I understand because of the world we live in today.
True.
Multitasking, because we're given so much to do.
Yes.
But we have to begin to examine that and say, hey, is this a reality? Like as I was reading the definition, as I said, it said that multitasking is an apparent human ability.
Right.
To perform more than one task or activity at the same time. Okay, when you think about human ability, we're not even leaning on, a higher authority than us. We're counting on our entire being as being capable of multitasking and then getting the same return on all those things at the same time. Right. Is that humanly possible? And I would question you and say, and I would ask you to kind of just question yourself and say, is this possible for me? Am I really humanly possible of actually carrying out these things effectively?
Right, exactly. And you're probably saying, well, yeah, I'm doing it every day, but are you really? I mean, really sit and think about it. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your family? Are you giving 100% to yourself, your family, work, other activities? I mean, you have a house to take care of, a car to take care of, other family, parents, elderly parents.
Exactly.
So you multitask and did 3-4 things at one time, but what did you really get accomplished?
Mm-hmm. And the best way I think that something you might want to consider doing is this, and I want to kind of hone in on those things individually because I want our viewers to, first of all, consider the various things that we're trying to multitask with. Right. And then I want to talk about each one individually. Yes. And I want for us to be able to give you ideas of things that you can do to ensure that you are handling things individually as you should, and that you're getting the return out of those areas as you desire. Okay, so we talked about ourselves. Yes. Okay, then if you have a spouse, you want to make sure that you're giving your spouse the attention that they need, whatever that might be. And making sure that you're allowing the time necessary to do that. Don't just say, okay, you know what? I tell you what, our date night is Friday night, and we're going to go to the movies, and that'll be it. Right. Okay, so it's like a plant. If you don't water that plant every day in some kind of way, where you're giving value to it. See, time is one thing. Right. But giving value is another. Yes. I can be with you, so I'm giving you time, but my mind is on the other side of town. Right. My mind is still back in my office with some paperwork or assignments or a project I'm trying to finish. Yes. Or I'm on the baseball field, the volleyball court in my head, but I'm sitting in front of you, honey. So I'm saying...
That's right.
So I'm saying
honey,
to you,
wink, wink.
And he might be saying, did you hear me? And you're saying, but you know what? You really didn't hear him.
Right, because when he asked you about it 2 days later and you say, what? You didn't tell me that. Honey, yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Why? Because I was spending time with you, but I was not with you in my mind.
Right.
In my heart.
Yes.
Yeah, in my heart, I was trying to do the right thing because I'm multitasking.
Yes.
I'm thinking, okay, honey, I'm here with you. I'm beside you, but I am not even in the room with you in my mind.
Right.
So with our I want to put a special emphasis on that. And I tell you, we will also be going to Facebook. We'll be on Facebook Live. We're uploading this video again because we're still experiencing some technical difficulties. But you know what? We're persevering.
Yes,
and
we
we're
are.
Not going to give up. Things are going to grow. They're going to get better. And we're in our infancy stage. But I tell you, we're coming to you with our heart, and we're coming to you with a level of commitment that is going to continue to manifest throughout time.
Right.
So what am I trying to say? I want to say this to you, and that is, give your spouse attention. Okay, just because you're in the room with him or her, they know when you're not there, really not there. So give time to them. You say, well, how am I going to do this? I got to balance the work. I got to balance the kids. I got to balance the housework. I got to balance my responsibilities at church.
Right.
Commitment to the community, this and that. Guess what? Remember that you came into that covenant relationship, and you committed to be there for one another.
Right.
So your first priority is, like I said, with God, with yourself is your second, and then with your spouse, if you're married, is the other. And everything thereafter.
Just your partner.
Your partner. Exactly.
You know.
Your spouse, your partner.
Whatever.
You
have to spend quality, value time.
Exactly.
Life is short. Multitasking, we all do it.
So you said, how do you do it? How do you do it? Can I just tell you? It's almost like the Nike commercial. Just do it.
Right?
Sometimes we got too much of a science for everything.
Yes.
We need to break down everything. But sometimes it's like, hey, I've made up my mind.
Right.
That I'm making this particular person, my spouse, whatever, in my life, my partner in my life, as a priority, and it's uncompromisable unless there's some kind of extreme emergency, and not everything's emergency. Sometimes other people's emergency have a lot to do with their procrastination.
Right.
So you have to determine, is this a true emergency?
Right.
And if that's the case, then you do as such. But the goal is that there's nothing to come between the time that you have actually set aside for your partner, for your spouse, okay? So you say, well, look, what is the go-to? What is the remedy to this? I just told you. You just do it. You just do it. You make it a priority. And you say, well, oh, but this doesn't feel right because you haven't been doing it.
Right.
But you do it enough. If you do it enough, then you will.
Yes.
Then it'll
just be natural.
Exactly.
Our lives get so busy and we get so wrapped up that we forget to take that value time thinking, they know. Yeah. It goes both ways. It does. But you have to take time.
You do. It's almost like, for instance, I was thinking about Tressa's treasured cheesecake, and I was thinking about the multi-berries. She has the pomegranate berries, she has the cranberry berries, and she has the raspberries.
Yes.
And all of those are very good berries.
Just not.
But the unique thing about those berries is this. They all have an individual flavor.
Yes.
And what's neat about the individual flavors, they all have, whereas they are all berries, they all were groomed a different way to become the cranberry, to become the pomegranate, and to become the raspberry. Now, as much as, and yes, they blend together because they were allowed to exist by themselves at one time.
Yes.
So that's why they're able to come together in their own uniqueness and bring a unified flavor. But had they not stood on their own and been nurtured in the environment, they would not have the flavor that they bring to one another. So, with that being said, when we give those priorities to the things in our lives, the attention that they need, ongoing, not intermittently, not here and there, but ongoing, where we're giving them value, they will bloom in ways that we could never imagine or think. It's incredible that when you give your attention, not just your time, but your attention, that you are important enough for me, my spouse. You're important enough to me, my child. You're important enough to me, my place of work. You're important enough to me, whatever commitments you made out in the community, to the point that I am going to invest, not just time, but I'm going to invest my attention.
Yes.
My undivided attention to you, so that in the season that I need for you to manifest in your greatest potential state of estate, you will be able to do that. Why? Because attention at the right time in the right place was given.
Yes.
And do we always get back out of things that we put into?
I believe so. Absolutely.
You sure?
But not all the time.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Right.
But that's just the way it is.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But then you'll know that you have. You've given it your all. And you've made that time. You've given your valued time. And you're right. Not all the time. We get that back.
The key is, though, I like how you said that, Tressa. The key is this. When you're doing the right things at the right time with what you know, and even whether they do or don't, whether you get out of it what you expect or not, you have a commitment to yourself that you made. So you'll have that inner peace.
Right.
And believe it or not, oftentimes that's when we eliminate opportunities of anxiety.
Yes.
Opportunities of depression. Opportunities of saying, oh my God, I should have done more in the season that I had.
Right.
Because guess what? We allowed ourselves, despite the world that we live in that says, hey, you should be able to multitask. You should be able to take care of your spouse. You should be able to take care of your children. You should be able to take care of work. You should be able to come home and prepare the meals and fry the bacon up in the pan and then run upstairs and put on that beautiful whatever so you can be in the present whatever you need to present.
Right.
But the key is that do it well. Do it well individually.
Yes.
Give yourself permission that even though we live in a society that's microwavable and everything has to be quick, understand that nothing in this life worth investing in, you can just do it in such a small space of time. It's an ongoing
process.
Yes. It is. But like I said, if you're giving time, but you're not spending time, then you're going to lose out on time, which means you can't falsify it. You're either going to be present or you're not, because your spouse knows when you're not present. Your children know when you're not present. And the boss knows when you're not present.
Right.
Everybody's like, okay, when is he or she going to understand that I caught on? I caught on that you're hearing me but not hearing me.
Right. That deer in the headlight look. That's true.
So the key here is multitasking.
Right.
And I wouldn't say that is the key. I would venture to say ask yourself the question. We're not here to hone in or to influence you in any way. We're here to kind of have the conversation.
Yes.
Because if you're running around and you're feeling unfulfilled and you're wondering why, oh my gosh, I'm working at this and I'm doing that, but I'm not seeing the results, I want you to consider, I know I'm multitasking, but is it effective for me? Is it working for me? Some people might say, well, it works for me. And if it's working for you, then you keep doing you.
Right.
But I want you to ask yourself the question, is it really, really working for you? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling overwhelmed?
Anxiety. Yes.
Are you feeling it? So I want you to consider, and what I'd like to do is next week, we're also going to come back and we're going to continue this topic on multitasking. Yes. We focused a lot this week on, we talked about how prioritizing.
Yes.
We talked about making sure that you're spiritually connected in the mornings or in the evenings or whenever you have your time, that you're getting connected with your inner being first, so you can reflect and determine, okay, what's my next move? Which way am I to go? Some of the greatest ideas and answers to questions come when we're not saying anything. When we're not doing anything. That is
so true.
When we're just being still and relaxing.
Right.
And not, having preconceived ideas in our minds. but just being still.
That's right. You need to calm that mind. You really, really do.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what calming that mind? You have
Cheesecake.
Tressa's treasured cheesecakes that were, I'm sure they taste wonderful. She definitely during this time of this session, she said, "Hey, I was multitasking when I put this cheesecake together." So but the cheesecake looks beautiful. It does. She probably would say, "Oh my God, it doesn't look as beautiful as I'd like." But I bet you taste just as good. So we're gonna try a little.
Try. Fingers crossed.
See, multitasking just a little bit.
It happens.
Wow.
Mm.
It is good.
That is good.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take another one.
Yeah. That it's good.
I'm shocked.
That's amazing. So even in that multitasking,
yes,
great things can come out of it. But then look at what it cost you.
Right.
Tressa was a little bit stressed this morning. I was too.
Yes.
But it's all in good nature of trying to do the right things at the right time, trying to care for the people that we love so much and so dearly, that sometimes we will stretch ourselves beyond what we're capable of doing.
Right.
And it does show up somewhere. Thank God. It may have showed up a little bit in the appearance of the cheesecake. Okay. But guess what? It still worked it out on the inside. It still worked it out. So with that being said, coming from Destiny's Corner Life this morning, live your life where you have as few regrets as possible, if any at all. You say, how can I do that? You can do that by considering, is multitasking effective for me?
Right.
Is it bringing out the best in me?
Yes.
Is it creating a space within me that says, guess what? I did well over everything I committed to do, everything that meant anything to me. And now I'm at peace because I know I did that. Only you know that.
Right.
Only you can determine that. And only you can change that.
That's true.
So until we meet again, we thank you so much for being here with us this morning with Destiny's Corner Life, where every Monday morning is not a Monday morning of blues, but a morning of highs. Until we meet again.
Next time.
Next time.